If you sold a house a few years ago, you likely remember tossing a sign on the lawn and sorting through multiple sight-unseen offers. In the spring of 2026, that frantic pace has suddenly vanished, replaced by a much more quiet reality. The Edmonton market has seen a massive influx of supply. Overall inventory levels are sitting 34.6% higher than they were at this time last year. This chart tracks Edmonton's sales to new listings ratio. The data line drops from a red seller's market into a balanced blue zone, settling at exactly 53%. The blue area expands, showing homes sitting for 45 to 55 days. Buyers finally have time. Buyers are no longer terrified of missing out. They are comparing your property strictly against the 3 or 4 identical ones down the street. Sellers who rely on passive, low-effort listing strategies are mathematically guaranteed to fail in this environment. Right now, many sellers are frustrated. They hear the news about high interprovincial migration into Alberta, but they watch their own properties sit stagnant on the market with 0 offers. This friction comes down to anchor bias. Sellers mentally anchor their expectations to the effortless, highly profitable results their neighbors achieved a year prior, and they expect the exact same outcome without adjusting to the new data. The central dilemma for a seller today is a careful calculation, determining exactly how much upfront time and capital is required to secure a buyer without needlessly sacrificing your home's equity. To succeed, you have to abandon emotional attachment to your home. You must treat the sale as a strict return on investment equation. Failing to optimize the inputs of this equation leads directly to market rejection. Buyers move on, your days on market climb, and your property is stamped with the fatal label of a stale listing. The first major input in your equation is the 14-day pricing rule. Your listing price must be calculated using closed data, homes that actually sold in your neighborhood over the last 30 to 60 days. You have to ignore the ambitious asking prices of the active listings down the street. By dropping your $405,000 asking price to $399,900, you trigger automated buyer search filters, capturing buyers who cap their budget at an even $400,000. This bracket pricing maximizes digital eyeballs and foot traffic during the highly constrained first 2 weeks. The negative trade-off happens if you miss this window. If you overprice, buyers skip the listing. By the time you drop the price 30 days later, buyers inevitably assume the property is defective. In a heavy seller's market, you could overprice and let the market catch up to you. In a balanced market, testing the waters with a high price kills your momentum completely. The second tactical input requires spending out of pocket before you list, the pre-listing home inspection. During the pandemic, buyers routinely waived inspections to win frantic bidding wars. Today, buyers have the time to protect themselves. Almost every offer you receive will come with financing and inspection conditions attached. This requires upfront risk. You spend your own capital to hire the inspector, and you are legally required to disclose any hidden faults they discover, like aging roof shingles or poor attic ventilation. But it gives you a massive advantage. Uncovering hidden failures allows you to fix them cheaply with your own contractors, well before negotiations even begin. Handing a clean, pre-completed inspection report to a prospective buyer builds immense trust. It gives them the confidence to write a cleaner offer with fewer conditions. By taking on this upfront friction, you completely remove the buyer's ability to use a post-offer inspection as leverage to demand a massive price reduction. The third input is neutralizing your physical space so it appeals to the broadest possible demographic. This means packing up personal collections, patching minor drywall dings, and upgrading to consistent warm light bulbs. The psychology here is simple. You want the buyer evaluating the raw square footage and the flow of the layout, rather than judging your personal lifestyle. This is especially vital because of the out-of-province factor. Edmonton's relative affordability is driving heavy interprovincial migration from Ontario and British Columbia. Many of these buyers are shopping entirely blind. Because their first showing happens on a smartphone screen thousands of miles away, high dynamic range photography, detailed floor plans, and 3D virtual tours are no longer luxury add-ons. They are the bare minimum standard to survive modern search habits. The trade-off for the seller is living in a sterilized environment for weeks and potentially paying thousands of dollars for premium digital marketing if your agent doesn't absorb the cost. But when a buyer is comparing your home strictly to 3 identical properties nearby, a superior visual presentation is the only remaining mechanism you have to justify a premium asking price. Let's bring all of these tactical inputs together to evaluate their true return on investment. This quadrant chart maps the effort of a task against its financial impact. Actions like patching drywall and bracket pricing are highly efficient. They require very little time or money, but have a massive impact on your buyer pool. A pre-listing inspection requires cash upfront and coordination, placing it in the high-effort category, but its strategic value in protecting your final sale price makes the impact equally high. Compare an expensive architectural change to visual neutralization. A full kitchen renovation is incredibly high effort, but rarely returns its cost in a balanced market. Meanwhile, aggressive decluttering takes serious physical effort, but directly increases the perceived value of the home. Maximizing your profit is rarely about overhauling the property. It is about strategically neutralizing buyer objections before they even occur. This final matrix shows how you must consciously align your effort with your expectations. There are 3 paths you can take. The optimizer executes the full prep and digital playbook. They endure maximum upfront friction with staging and inspections, but they guarantee the highest possible final sale price. The as-is seller refuses to invest time in prep or staging. To actually sell the home, they must mathematically compensate for their lack of effort by dropping their price into a significantly lower search bracket. Then there is the testing the water seller. Stubbornly overpricing your home without doing the required prep work guarantees an expired listing. In the 2026 Edmonton market, hope is not a strategy. You must proactively choose your trade-offs